So we have not much time. It's exactly 30 minutes, so we have to stop in time. So I will not talk too much right now. But if you have any questions, please put them in the question and answer function, which you see, and we will try to answer all of them at the end of the session, or otherwise via email. So I hand over now to Samia. Please go ahead, and we don't spend much more time now. Thanks.
Thank you, Ulf. Hi, everybody. I'm really proud and happy to share with you this initiative. In this session, we would like to share with you the Atos story, a company that has been mobilized within the COVID-19 crisis to help society to overcome the pandemic situation with digital solution. I would like to share with you then the content. So a couple of minutes. So, as clearly stated, Ulf, I would like to go straight forward to share with you. So the main mission and objective was to minimize the propagation of the virus, avoiding lockdowns that all around the world we've been going through, that stops the world economy, freedom, and crucial people's social interactions. Playing with our digital technologies and digital assets by using mobile phones, data analytics securely, and of course, ensuring data privacy. As a pragmatic outcomes, we're attending to provide to the legal authorities an efficient support and improvement to their resource and process involved in the crisis, and propose a digital solution to inform the population all through the COVID journey. Hence, Atos provide first solutions to allow the future international deconfinement with a secure travel circulation management to relaunch the economy. We were really focused on identifying the required functions, digital functions, and how to derive them from the COVID life cycle that I'm currently illustrating here. With COVID population segmentation and severity. First set of digital services were focused on identifying the asymptomatic suspected case at early stages to contain the virus propagation. So solution description is the Alert COVID is a contextual data platform that provides a kind of use case fabric to identify stakeholders to create an ecosystem of services, data oriented using advanced AI and ML engine to leverage value from the data sources. The data intelligence platform is a technology agnostic in terms of data feeds. It could be telco operator network data or proximity tracing technology that has been developed by all technology societies all through the pandemic, or GPS informations. The platform is able as well to embed as data feeds the third-party platforms that might be useful to create innovative service, such as positive case references to start off detecting the suspected case and the suspected process, open data to get demographical information, geospatial references. It could be research universities that leverage KPIs and analysis from their data sets. Alert COVID technology is compatible with smartphones, legacy devices, or e-health bracelets to propose this solution to a large coverage of the population. Last key element is data privacy and cybersecurity. Of course, with this type of solutions, we were really focused on not infringing the data privacy. So we leverages cybersecurity modules in order to manage sensitive data. The solution provides Atos cybersecurity modules to raise what we call a fortress to secure the contextual platforms, securing and restricted, secured and restricted access management, robust supervision, incident detection process, and data governance. It also provides cybersecurity leakage protections, denial of services. Of course, we provide for our end-to-end processes, encryptions and protection, and hardening the platform and the disks that we have on the servers as a standard. The first set of use cases developed and proposed in the data-driven platform are segmentized by category to respond to the key challenge faced by the authorities in terms of this pandemic situation. How to control the propagation and with machine learning and AI capability, how to manage the overall COVID cases with digital declaration process, what are the key elements to understand COVID phenomena evolutions with a comprehensive data visualization and innovative graphical models, and hence how to inform the population through what we call the COVID journey with the appropriate channel communication for large majority of population, for example, blind people, non-literate people, elderly people that are not access I would say the classical digital channels that would not being efficient enough to inform this type of population. So if we deep diving on and give you hints of what we've been developing, we've been on one key element that we've been providing. Sorry, just to skip you that. We've been developing the one algorithm that leverage the geographical assets that we have from the telco operators to provide risky zones and to illustrate here, as you see on the video, to identify the COVID clusters on all through the territories, and we've been showing case this to several countries. So one of the key elements is being faced by the authorities all around the world is to identify those COVID clusters. We've been doing it with machine learning and leveraging for the last 14 days all the suspected case that has been the platform has been detected, as well as the declared case, in order to illustrate and to clearly identify risky zones that would eventually allows the governments to have clear actions on the field. In order to better understand the evolution of the phenomena, we elaborated a network clustering graphical model to reconstruct the propagation chain based on positive case and suspected ones and the relationship between the two. It allows to identify potential COVID clusters as well with no geographical data. And it illustrates I would say the infection situation, for instance, gatherings, as you see here in the graph, maybe illustrating the clusters and potential events that affect the population. You have here in the red circles the declared case, and in the amber ones, the suspected cases, clearly linked. So the research, especially the research sector, would better understand the phenomena of the COVID-19. In terms of digital declaration and digital solutions that we've been developing to the healthcare authorities, we've been also developing a proximity tracing solution based on Bluetooth technology, as it is illustrated here in the video, endemmed to a mobile application to facilitate the healthcare declaration in terms of declaring the COVID positive cases. Illustrated here then the mobile application that allows to a person that runs COVID tests and being a positive case, the healthcare provider would eventually use a secure web portal with a secure QR code to change the mobile application status to positive status. And with the Alert COVID proximity algorithm, automatically the mobile application that has been in contact with the positive case declared immediately goes into suspected case, thanks to our proximity algorithm that runs a patterned algorithm that we've been developing to securely identify automatically the suspected cases with I would say sophisticated statistical calculation in order to avoid some kind of errors here. The digital secure declaration for healthcare providers allows us to manage the COVID journey, the entire COVID journey, the process that I've been illustrating here. As you see, the suspected case is being detected automatically by the platform, and all the declarations, as you see here, being done securely by the legal authorities, which is the healthcare provider. From the healthy to cured, passing through suspected status, detecting by the platform, being positive or not after a test, being monitored and reminded at the end of the potential incubation period to rerun a test to verify if indeed you have been infected or not. So here it's the end-to-end process, and this is the what we call the COVID-19 lifecycle management that we propose with the solution. Additionally to that, and similarly approach, we've been developing a business process that we call the travel pass, should allow to facilitate the traveler circulations and filtering the effective suspected case that had to pass a quarantine time period priorly to enter any countries. And this is based on the historical status that has been stored in the original centralized platform securely by the home country. If we deep dive then into the comprehensive dashboarding, so we proposed, it allows to compile all data information, aggregated KPIs, as you see, to provide an overall view of the pandemic situation in the territory with current counts, cumulated counts, or all status, and the life cycle management that we are being currently showing here, as well as here you see the transition between the healthy to the suspected to sick, so on and so forth. What we've been trying to achieve here is try to detect potentially a second wave alarm that could significantly being shown with the positive to cured transition that allows, for instance, that the kind of second wave of the propagations that might strike the country, or it could be a restart of a pandemic situation. Illustrated here again, we've been developing as well and thinking about supporting hospital as there has been really at the first row of this pandemic situation. We propose use case to manage hospital occupancy. Toolbar or TAC Cloud view to see the most occupied hospital. With additional data feeds, we are capable to provide real-time COVID-19 severe case rerouting based on hospital occupancy process by the data intelligence platform. And so I would like to share with you why this initiative was innovative. It was innovative in the way that we've been processing. We've been mobilized and had to work differently based on the urgency of the situation. We delivered within 2 weeks of time the concept demos to the countries that and our customers that being ask us to support them. Design a minimum viable product within 2 months and proposing the solution at almost 20 countries all around the world, and something very unique that we've been achieving is the majority of Atos departments were involved worldwide. The UICC proposes their collaborative solutions. As I said, the Big Data and Security Department provide us the best of breed cyber security solutions, and we've been leveraging our big data platform, which is the Codex for Telco digital platform that has been derived from telco to the safety management. So it was really in a way that we've been approaching this initiative that was something really unique in the forum. Thank you. So
Thank you, Samia. I don't know for sets. So just let me ask some questions which are coming here out of the crowd. The first of all was, what is the role of a telco or communication service provider for this kind of platform? What do you see there? Because as we've seen, most probably the end customer would be then the authorities or health ministry or whatever. So how could these work together properly?
okay. Telco, I mean, this is my sector. I'm from telecommunication department. Telco is a key component of the platform. Why? Because they are owning what we call the golden data. They could, in this initiative, and as we have been speaking with several governments and stakeholders, we have two approaches to do it. The minimal one would be telco considers as a provider, as we have done for one of our customers in Middle East, proposing the data platform, and we adapt this current data platform to support the governments. Or in more optimized way, I would say the telco companies are viewed as a partner, co-building or co-constructing and managing the solutions along with Atos. For me, we are together to build up a digital solutions as a solidarity, as a something that to face this sanitary crisis all around the world. And I'm really proud and pleased that the telcos plays this role in this crisis.
question from the audience is in there. So what kind of tools or languages have you been using to build this platform?
Okay. What we've been, in terms of technical languages?
Yep.
So we've been using, as I said, we've been very strict and we worked with GDPR consultants, GDPR policies from European Union regulation. We've been deploying the Robert protocol, which is based on the European standardized protocol to communicate with the mobile applications. And we've been using data encryptions, ephemeral keys every 10 minutes, for example, to not being capable to grab the mobile application IDs, as well as the secure protocols on the core platform. Having said so, in terms of digital communications, we've been discussing, as I said, with several countries, and they ask us to be multilanguages, being also capable to provide, for example, cryptogram for the notifications. We have all our mobile application capable to leverage the text to speech for the people that are not capable to read as well.
Okay, and when it comes to the artificial intelligence and machine learning tools, are you able to tell also the crowd what kind of tools you were using and algorithms you were using there, or is this under strict because you're applying for a patent, as far as I understood?
So indeed, our algorithm has been patented from day one, as we've been touching something very unique here. But what I can say is that we've been using open source technologies and machine learning, like we've been using Spark machine learning and other open source data. We've been developing the core languages with Scala, and what I can share with you, and this is something that we've been faced with this challenge in order to propose this solution in terms of deployment to be very in agile mode. We've developed a core, the core algorithm within one generic language that we are capable to deploy depending on the situation of the platform solutions. And so we are capable now to develop and deploy this core algorithm within 15 minutes. To be endemmed into the core platform and being developed. So those issues are technical rollout issues that we need to face, and this is the reason why I was saying that during this crisis, we think our process, we need to work differently, react differently, and provide agile solutions to answer to the urgency of the crisis.
Okay, so if it comes to privacy, there is the question, obviously, we see different countries using the centralized and decentralized approach. Is this platform capable of provide as a solution for different countries or privacy approaches?
Okay, in terms of privacy, as I said, we've been developing the interactions between the core platform and the mobile application based on a centralized protocol, which is the Robert protocol. The updated version, it's a French version of the UE protocol that has been developed for proximity tracing. The next one is named Désiré, and he has this challenge to being capable to communicate with peer-to-peer mobile application and centralized mobile applications that are capable to communicate with the centralized platform. So we are working, and it's under process to analyze and provide wider solutions to endemp again the peer-to-peer architecture with a centralized one. Why? Because as I stipulated, it's whether we live together or we die together all around the world, and this key issue of international deconfinement becomes a central question about interoperability and being a key challenge to build up a pan-international approach in order to allow or relaunch the economy by verifying the traveler circulation. Otherwise, unfortunately we are at risk to relaunch and relaunch a pandemic situation.
Okay, one last question I have here is the one: where has been deployed, or what are the next steps? What is the plan of this platform? Can you elaborate a little bit on that one?
As we start off and very at early stage of the design, we thought about this platform as a pandemic data management platform, not really specific for the COVID. And unfortunately, this is a world where we live, and we need to have this type of digital solution to be prepared for any potential next pandemic situation. And the next steps for us, as I said, is really to grab with us the whole sector, the whole telco sector industry, and all IT industry, to create this pan-international solution, and being capable to propose, as I showed, additional sets of use case to manage potential new crises with digital solutions. This is my personal belief that it is really key for us, and this is why we're so putting lots of efforts to develop digital solutions in needs to serve this type of causes.
Okay, thank you, Samia. Time is over. Unfortunately, we have a couple of more questions, which we will answer then by email. I hope that this little puzzle piece can help to lower the infringement which we are all facing with this pandemic of the COVID-19. Thank you very much, Samia, for all your effort, and thank you for the crowd for participating in this. Goodbye.
Thank you.